So how did you come to be in the real estate industry, and was this something you always wanted to do?
Actually, to be honest with you, it wasn't something I've always wanted to do. Graduated from college, like your typical college student. Got my degree and thought I was big stuff. Got out into the corporate world and got my first job with a company called Advanced Communications. And I was making $30,000 a year. I remember I went with my mom to pick up my offer letter, and I was all excited because I thought, 30 grand at the time was big money, and it was my first job. And quickly realized that probably wasn't going to be enough to make it in the big leagues. So I stayed there for about a year. They eventually went out of business or closed down their technology department, and then I went to one of their competitors. Worked there for about 6 months to a year. They eventually went out of business. The industry was a telecommunications industry. They were wiring Cat6 cable throughout businesses' networks. So that whole industry kind of folded up after time. And so I was out of a job. I was bartending and waiting tables. I wasn't sure what I was going to do. It was a toss-up between real estate or mortgages. And ended up picking real estate. Went and took the course, got my license, and the rest is history.
So how long would you say that you've been in the real estate industry?
I've been in real estate since, I believe, 2003. So this would be 8 years, if I remember correctly.
Have you always been with the Northville Market Center, or?
I've not. I started off with Coldwell Banker over on 6 Mile in Northville. I was there for 7 years. Joined Keller Williams, the Northville Market Center, 2 years ago.
And now you're a mega agent.
And now I'm a mega agent.
Why do you think you're such a successful real estate agent?
Honestly, it was a building process. It's not something that just happened in a day. It didn't happen in a year. It was year after year of building happy clients, building up my past clients and sphere of influence. And every year you have more and more clients coming back to you that just pick up the phone and call. And then you have to keep building upon that, bringing in new clients. So the way I did that was calling expired listings. My business was based on expired listings for probably the first 6 years of my career. Was probably 50% of my business was expired listings.
What are some tips that you can give some other agents who are looking to become more successful?
You have to pick up the phone. It's a contact sport. We always hear that. I think people think that there's a way around it or some magic pill, but there's not. You have to pick up the phone and talk to people. It's a numbers game. The more people you talk to, the better chance you have of getting a listing or finding a buyer that's ready to buy a house now.
Why did you decide to start your own team?
I figured out real quick that I was only one person and I can only do so much. I was working 7 days a week. I was working 12 to 15 hours a day. I wasn't getting home till 10 o'clock at night, starting off at 7 in the morning. And I realized there was only so much one person could do. So I hired my first administrative assistant. She took a big load off of me, doing a lot of paperwork. It allowed me to take more listings, and I quickly learned the power of delegating. So the more I could delegate, the more I could do. I then hired my first buyer's agent, and just been growing the team ever since. I realized real quick that the more people you have, the bigger your army is, the more people you can touch.
Why do you believe your team is so successful?
I would say we're probably successful because we base our business around customer service. Nobody leaves the table unhappy, or at least we're going to do everything we can to make sure that every customer walks away as a raving fan.
What are some tips you can give other teams who are looking to become more successful?
You have to find a way to be different. If you mix in with the other 10,000 realtors in Michigan, there's no reason anyone's going to pick up the phone and call you unless they know you. So you either have to make the phone ring, or you have to pick up the phone and call people. One of those two things. If you're not willing to do that, you're probably in the wrong business.
What was your reaction or thoughts when you discovered you were placed in the Real Trends Top 1000 in 2011?
Gosh, that was very exciting. That was probably one of the biggest accomplishments for me. You know, just to know that nationally I was recognized, so yeah, that was great.
And lastly, do you have any goals for yourself or your team for the remainder of this year or next year?
Goals for the team is for this year, for 2011, we're trying to hit 300 transactions and 35 million in real estate. Looks like we'll come close to it. We might fall a little short. Looking at our numbers right now, we're probably going to come somewhere between 30 and 35 million. Transaction-wise, looks like we're probably going to hit closer to 275. I don't know. We'll see what type of November and December we have. Ultimately, the goal is to work less and do more.